はい、こんばんは、わたりです。ちょっとね、前回の動画見返してみたんですけど、思ってたより自分の声がちっちゃくて、さすがにひどいなと思ったんで、今日はちょっと事前テストしてからやりました。前回見てくれた人はすいません。ということで、今日は前回に続きということで、チュートリアル終わったところから始めていこうと思います。そう、ちょっとスロット3でテストしてました。はい、ということで、今日もよろしくお願いします。前回は、盗賊に襲われてた生徒たち助けた。
Captain Gerald? It is you! Goodness, it's been ages! Don't you recognize me? It's Alois, your old right-hand man! Well, it must have been 20 years ago that you went missing without a trace. I always knew you were still alive.
ちゃんと信じてくれてたよね。
You haven't changed a bit, Alois, just as loud as ever.And drop that captain nonsense. I'm not your captain anymore. These days, I'm just a wandering mercenary, one who has work to do. Goodbye, old friend.
Right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Captain.
Goodbye, Captain.
Wait, that isn't how this ends. I insist that you return to the monastery with me.
Goodbye できなかった。
Garrig Mach Monastery.I suppose this was inevitable.
なんかすごいジェラルドさん嫌そうっすね。
And how about you, kid? Are you the captain's child?
さあ子供かどうか。一応そういう設定になってますね。
Is that so?
渡りは
Well, physical differences aside, your mannerisms do remind me of the captain. I'd love for you to see the monastery too. You will join me, won't you? What's troubling you, Captain? You aren't about to run off again, are you?
Even I wouldn't dare run from the Knights of Saros.
逃げれない。
Knights of Saros?
Knights
They
of
do
Saros.
seem rather skilled.
いや、やっぱソティスいい声してんな。びっくりしてますね。
Ah, it seems your presence is required. Get going.
Going. やっぱでも英語聞き取るの難しいな。これ音量バランスとかの問題じゃないんでね。
I appreciate your help back there. Your skill is beyond question.
ビヨンドクエスチョンってなんだ。疑問を超えてる。ビヨンドディスクリプションスター想像を超えたって言ったのかな。
You're clearly an experienced mercenary. And your father, that would be Gerald, the blade breaker?
ジェラルトのこと知ってるみたいですね。
Former captain of the Knights of Saros, oft praised as the strongest knight to ever live. Have I missed anything?
間違ってるかって。単調とは知らなかった。娘やろ。生物騎士団でしょうか。
You haven't heard of the Knights of Saros? The most famous order of knights in all of Fodlan.
一番有名な騎士団なんですね。
Hey, you are coming with us to the monastery, right? Of course you are. I'd love to bend your ear as we travel. Oh, I should mention that the three of us are students of the Officers' Academy at Garrig Mach Monastery. We were doing some training exercises when those bandits attacked. I definitely got the worst of it.
トレーニング中に襲われるって災難っすね。
That would be because you ran off.
Too true. I was the first to make a strategic retreat. Everything would have worked out if these two hadn't followed me and ruined everything. Because of them, every single one of those bandits chased after us. Utterly ridiculous.
Ah, so that's what you were thinking, Claude. And here I thought you were acting as a decoy for the sake of us all.
ディミトリさん、ちょっと英語と日本語だとイメージ違う。
His intentions were as clear as day. You will prove a lacking ruler if you cannot see the truth behind a person's words.
はい、赤が青に嫌味を言ってますね。
You will prove a lacking ruler yourself if you look for deceit behind every word and fail to trust those whom you rely on.
パチパチで
Oh,
すね。
joy. A royal debate between their highnesses. I wonder how being completely predictable affects one's ability to wield power. Personally, as the embodiment of distrust, I'd say your little exchange smacks of naivete.
Me, naive. Tell me, are you actually incapable of keeping quiet, or is your lack of self-awareness a condition of some sort?
今の2行にそんなセリフあるんや。ちょっとわかんないな。ひなっていう単語。
In any case, forgive our digression. I must speak with you if you can spare a moment. The way you held your ground against the bandits' leader was captivating. You never lost control of the situation. It showed me I still...
Your skill is precisely why I must ask you to consider lending your services to the Empire. I might as well tell you now. I am no mere student. I am also the Adrestian Empire's...
Halt, Edelgard. Please allow me to finish my own proposition. The Holy Kingdom of Fargus is in dire need of exceptional individuals like yourself.
エーデルガルトさんがアドラステア帝国で、ディミトリ君がファーガス神聖王国の人ですね。どっちもこの、渡りに来てほしい。
Please, do consider returning to the kingdom with me.
Whoa there, you two sure are hasty. Trying to recruit someone you just met. Tactless, really. I was personally planning to develop a deep and lasting friendship on our journey back to the monastery before begging for favors. But it seems there's no time for niceties in this world. So, capable stranger, let's get right to it. Where does your allegiance lie?
色が違いますよね。
It seems one's place of birth is quite significant to them. Yet they are so impressed by you that you may take your pick. Well,
1個ピックしてって。これ選んだってルートは決まらないんですよ。で、あれだな。ここは平和に一番喧嘩しなさそうなレスター諸侯同盟、クロード君、黄色ですね。を選んでおきましょう。
Is that right? Well, that's a win for the Alliance, so I suppose I'm obligated to be happy.
All right, that's enough with the small talk. It's time to head back to the monastery.
Looks like we'll have to pick this up another time.
my, they are in such a hurry. You know, each of the three is most unique.
クロードか。あ、ここはそっか、セリフじゃないから。引き続きしそうな笑顔は印象的だが、目が笑っていない気がする。笑ってないっすね。油断できない相手かもしれない。じゃあ次赤にする？エーデルカルとか。景品の高い少女だが、常にこちらを値踏みするような目で見られているように感じる。怖いな。日々とり誠実そうな印象を受けるが、明るさの中にどこか陰りのようなものを感じる気がする。そんな明るい感じでもなかった。
Yes, I thought the same. I am so sleepy once again.
めっちゃ寝ますね。まあ今秋だし眠たいっていうのはわかる。
I may be sleeping, but
よし。
Part 1. White Clouds. Great Tree Moon. 3 Houses.
Three Houses。これ英語版タイトルになってますね。
The icy winds of the Agma Mountains have begun to scatter, and the verdant fields once again spring to life across Fogland, heralding the start of a new year. As they celebrate the dawning year, the people pray that they may realize their full potential, just as a tiny sprout hopes to one day grow into a great tree. The continent of Fogland said to be protected by a revered goddess, has existed since time immemorial. 3 ruling powers now control the land. In the south lies a region long held by a more than 1,000-year-old dynasty, the Adrestian Empire. Beyond its borders, to the frigid north, is the home of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, ruled by the royal family and its knights. To the east, a league of nobles that heeds no king nor emperor rules what is called the Leicester Alliance. Once consumed by a tempest of war and turmoil, Fodlan and these 3 mighty powers now exist in relative harmony.
よし。済んだぞ。最初の方はやっぱビデオが多いっすね。
This will be your first time at the monastery. I'd be happy to show you around.
It really is Fodlan in a nutshell. The good and the bad.
Like it or not, we'll be there soon enough. There it is. Garrick Mock Monastery.
ガルクマクマニストリー。大修道院マニストリーっていうのか。あら、タジタジしてますね。こんな先生に現実にはいないでしょ。
Ray is here.
レア様ですね。
I wonder, did the flow of time bring you here?
もうレア様もいい声だな。好きかも。
It's been years since I've last set eyes on this place. To be forced to see her now,
あの人来たことがある？あの人さっき言ってたレア様。だから来たことがあるんでしょうね。
I've never spoken of this to you before, but many years ago, I was a knight here.
ナイツとして働いてました。
I reported to the Archbishop, Lady Rhea.
レディレア。レア様？
As you know, the majority of folks in Fodlan are devout followers of the teachings of Seros. The leader of that ridiculously large religious organization is the Archbishop, Lady Rhea.
レディレア。
Thank you for your patience, Gerald. My name is Seteth. I am an advisor to the Archbishop.
Right. Hello.
Hello.
It has been a long time, Gerald. I wonder, was it the will of the goddess that we have another chance meeting like this?
大修道院っていうぐらいだから結構神とかそういう宗教的な感じしますね。
Forgive my silence all these years. Much has happened since we last spoke.
So I see. The miracle of fatherhood has blessed you. That is your child, is it not?
That is your child is not. 否定疑問文かな。違う。そうでしょ？
Yes. Born many years after I left this place, I wish I could introduce you to the mother of my child, but I'm afraid we lost her to illness.
I see. My condolences. As for you, I heard of your valiant efforts from Alois. What is your name?
What is your name? あ、 たのは確かって言ってるけど、一応名前聞いてくれるんだ。あ、これやっぱそれで言うと英語の方が自然だな。わた
A
り。
fine name indeed. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for saving those students of the Officers' Academy. Gerald, you already know what it is I wish to say, do you not?
この辺分かりやす
You
い。
want me to rejoin the Knights of Seros, don't you? I won't say no, but
Your apprehension stings. I had expected that Alois would have already asked this of you. I must step away for now, but I expect they will desire a word with you soon. Please listen carefully to what they have to say. Until tomorrow, farewell.
Please listen what he said say. 言ってることをちゃんと聞いてくださいね。
I can't believe it. Forced back into the Knights of Seros. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Looks like I'll be stuck here for a while. And I'm afraid your services are requested as well.
働くってマーシナリーとして雑用係ってなんて言うんだろうね。雑用係として
Nothing like that. They want you to teach, by the sound of it.
teacher 渡りもね、こう綺麗な見た目してて先生だからモテモテでしょうね、きっと。
You heard those brats earlier talking about the Officers' Academy, right? Well, the Academy just happens to be short a professor. And apparently that damned Alois went and recommended you to Lady Rhea.
So, you must be the new professor. My, how stern and handsome you are.
渋くてって女の人に言うセリフなのかな。さっきのセクシーな先生ですね、ビデオ出てきたマヌエラ先生です。
No. I'm not the one you're looking for.
そうかそうか、ジェラルドに言ってたのか。
You can handle things from here. Good luck.
Good luck.
And watch out for Lady Rhea. I don't know what she's thinking making you a professor like this. She may be up to something. Stay on your guard.
ジェラルドさんイケボだな。なんか本当に朗読みたいだ。
Oh, it's you then? So young.
Competence and age are not necessarily correlated, as you well know.
年齢は関係あるんだ。ハンネマン先生、男のひげの先生ですね。結構年いってそうに見えるよね。
I am Hanneman, a Crest scholar and professor at the Officers' Academy. I wonder if you bear a crest of your own. When next you have a moment to spare, I insist that you pay me a visit so we can delve into the subject further.
紋章ってエンブレムじゃないの？もしかして。なんか英語だと違うの？
I'm Manuela. I'm a professor, a physician, a songstress, and available. It's nice to meet you.
すげえ。アベイラボーって結構やらしいな。どっち聞く？歌姫の方が突っ込みどころある。
Of course. Before I came here, I belonged to a renowned opera company. Perhaps you've heard of me? The Middle Franc Opera Company is beautiful, peerless.
Spare our colleague the needless chatter, Manuela. Now then, it seems you'll be taking charge of one of the Academy's 3 houses. I expect you haven't yet been briefed on the nature of each, have you?
Do you really not know? Fine. I'll do you a favor and explain. The Officers' Academy is comprised of 3 houses of students, each of which is closely affiliated with its region of origin. The Black Eagle House is for students from the Adrestian Empire.
赤です。
Their house leader this year is Edelgard, the Imperial Princess, who is in line to be the next emperor.
Next Emperor.
The Blue Lion House is for students from the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. Their house leader this year is Prince Dimitri. He is to be the next king of Fargus.
プリンスはちゃんとキングになりますと。
Lastly, there is the Golden Deer House, which is for students of the Leicester Alliance. Their house leader is Claude, grandson to Duke Regan, the leader of the Alliance.
To think that the next emperor, king, and sovereign duke are all here.
いや、
Certainly is a promising year for the academy.
難しいな。
I'll say, I just hope none of those little treasures cause any trouble.
Quite. For now, I suggest taking a stroll around the academy to get your bearings. And when you've a moment, please stop by my research laboratory.
The old man has a point. Oh, and keep in mind that I've only notified the house leaders that you're our new professor. It's more fun that way. I suggest you try spending time with the students. Some odd ducks in that bunch, but they're good kids.
グッドキッズ。キッズって言われてるの。
I'm sure Lady Rhea will have more information for you tomorrow, but that should get you going. Good luck. You'll need it.
Have you no intention of changing your mind, Rhea? Appointing a stranger, a child no less, as a professor at our esteemed academy is...
チャイルド。
I have made my decision, Sedith. I know worrying comes naturally to you, but there is truly no need. That stranger is Gerald's flesh and blood, after all.
I can't say that's all too comforting. How trustworthy is this Geralt character? Is he not the man who went missing after the Great Fire 21 years ago? I would remind you that Flane is now here with us as well. I beg of you, please consider whether this is an unnecessary risk.
Sedith, they have my trust. Let that be enough for you as well. More importantly, I have received a report from Shamir. I am increasingly concerned about a matter regarding our suspicious individual. We cannot ignore those who harbor ill will toward the church, especially if they are frequenting Garrick Mach.
Yes, that matter is of great importance as well. I shall continue my investigation. Rhea, for now I will have faith that you are placing your trust with the utmost care. I pray that nothing occurs to shake that confidence.
Yeah, 英語こんな長時間聞くの疲れちゃうな、正直。難しいな、やっぱり。全然速さとかが思ってるのよりも速いから。まあ、字幕日本語にしてよかったな。これもう英語の字幕にしてると完全に企画倒れっすわ。まあ、いい感じに復習にはなってるけど。クロード、黄色ですね。なんて言うんだっけな、クラスの名前。赤は覚えてるんですよ。アドラークラスですね。アドラステンっていうので、青、なんだっけな。後で出てくるから。 修道院内を散策しますと。はい。よし、まずレアさんに話しかけて。
I assume you are already aware that you will be teaching here at the Officers' Academy, correct? To start, please speak with the 3 house leaders. You should also take a look around the academy and acquaint yourself with your new home. That is your first task here at the monastery. Please let me know if you accept it.
ファーストタスクです。
Once you have finished, come and speak with me.
終わったらお願いしてください。
May I ask a favor of you?
May I ask a favor of you? 頼み事をしてもいいですか？クエスト受注しました。はい、大修道院の人から受けられる依頼のことです。メニューのクエストで確認できます。はい。さあ、3人の宮長の話を聞きに行こう。一応喋るか、全員。
You there?
Ha! I imagine you were a bit surprised that I recommended you as a professor here. Frankly, we had someone else in mind for the role, but they ran off during our dust-up with the bandits. Can't entrust students to someone who's abandoned them once before, huh?
なるほど。穴埋めです。
You saved the lives of the students you came across. That, at least, was admirable. Now you should make the rounds. Go around the monastery and see that you greet everyone.
はーい。で、テッサ、目が冷たい。さあ。アングル。そっか、そのまま行ったら抜ける。よし。あ、違うか。こうか。これで行かなきゃいけない。よし。はい、ミニマップは。現在地は大修道院内の人々の所在が確認できます。はい、右上のマップですね。確かそうそうそう。ボタンで切り替えるサイズをちゃんと切り替えられますね。大広間周辺。早速赤の宮長がいるので話しかけてみましょう。エーデルガルトさん。
Hey there.
So, you've accepted a teaching position here. Pity. I was hoping you would lend your strength to the Empire. I never properly introduced myself, did I? My name is Edelgard von Hresvelg. I am the princess and heir apparent of the Adrestian Empire. I wonder if you'll be tasked with leading the Black Eagles. I hope you've had a chance to meet everyone. Would you like to know more about any of the Black Eagles?
学級の方まだ行ってないな。まあ、一応これ聞けるんですよね。それぞれの印象みたいな。聞いてきますか?
Me? Well, some think I'm a bit distant, arrogant even, but there's little to be done. One day I must rise to become Adrestia's next emperor.
One day? いつかなるみたいな。
What else? Well, it seems to me that we may have similar personalities.
ちょっと馬が合うってなんか嬉しいな。共感してくれてるな。はいはい。武器とかは無理で知ったおいおい。
Hubert is the heir of Marquis Vestra. He has served me since I was a child. You may think his blood runs a bit cold, but actually that's rather accurate. Still, if you can get past that, you'll see he's quite astute and reasonable.
理にかなってる。Reasonable.
For some reason, he thinks of me as a bitter rival and is always trying to challenge me. It's terribly irritating. His house is that of Duke Ire, which produces Adrestia's prime ministers. That family is perhaps too pleased with its own status. He's remarkably intelligent, but he only wishes to apply himself to tasks that particularly interest him, and nothing else. He's also fond of, well, napping. If he had any work ethic or sense of duty to speak of, I suppose he would be destined to become an official of the Empire. He's the second son of Count Burgleys. He has no inheritance in his future, which is perhaps why he's always so eager to prove himself.
なるほど。イーガルってなんとかヒムセルフ。君はインヘルヘンスが継承権か。だから頑張ろうとしてるってことだね。
He's overly energetic and rushes headfirst into any battle. If he ends up in your care, be sure to keep a close eye on him.
問題児。
She's Count Varley's only daughter. I suppose you could say she's a bit eccentric, but she seems like a gentle soul.
Eccentric girl.
I believe she's shut herself away in her quarters and doesn't care to leave, but don't worry, I'll make sure she finds her way to class.
心配しないで。どう？個人的にはベルちゃんめちゃめちゃ好きです。
Few commoners have joined the Black Eagle House, but Dorothea is an exception.
例外の人、エクセプション。
She's a songstress from a famous opera company in the Empire. I'm not entirely sure what brought her to the Officers' Academy.
謎の女性、ドロティアちゃん。
To the west of Fodlan is an archipelago called Brigid. Petra is the granddaughter of their king. Brigid is a vassal state of the Empire, which is how she came to be enrolled here. She's incredibly smart and studious.
よし、これで一人の級長に乗せる。あれ？こっちでやってる？これ視点こんな…あ、違うな。間違ってる。
Hi.
Hey there.
喋った。まさか達成の。
Pardon me. Greetings! You must be the new professor. What a pleasure. As for me, my job is to stand here at this glorious entrance and leisurely watch over the comings and goings of everyone. Make folks smile, you know?
笑顔で迎えた。
And by that, I mean to vigilantly guard this entrance with my very life. No levity whatsoever. As of now, nothing to report.
いいね。元気がいい。モンバンさん。このモンバンさんはすごい人気だったりします。この先は侵入できません。クロードを見つ
What
け
do you
た。
think?
Golden Deer House is for students of the Lester Alliance.
トラブルがあって、このヒルシュクラスはレスター諸侯同盟の出身の生徒が在籍する学級だ。
Our house leader is heir to the Alliance's leadership, House Regan. We have plenty of other prominent nobles as well.
優秀な貴族の子たちが集まっていると。言われたけど。
Well, scored a teaching gig here, did you? Talk about a great first impression.
なんかめっちゃバカにされてますね、クロー。
I guess that means I'd better introduce myself properly. I'm Claude von Regan. I'm from the ruling house of the Lester Alliance, but don't worry too much about all that madness. I'm guessing you don't know which class you'll be teaching yet, do you? I bet you'd like ours. We're not as difficult as the other two.
まあ気楽そうだよね、こんな感じの。
Have you met the folks from the Golden Deer House yet? Care to know more about anyone?
一応全員聞いとこうか。
Piqued your interest, have I? As luck would have it, I'm pretty curious about you as well.
大人気っすね、先生。黒田君も興味あ
But
る。
what's life without a bit of mystery? Let's just spend the next year or so learning about each other little by little.
はい。そんな細かいことを教えてくれ。
He's the heir of Gloucester territory. If you haven't already picked up on him, he's a bit arrogant and fancies himself a ladies' man.
ローレンツ君ですか。
That said, deep down he's really devoted and honest. Though I wouldn't mind never hearing him talk about his noble obligations ever again.
貴族。バラつけてるし、すげえ貴族っぽい。
He comes from a merchant family, but his parents died in an accident. Seems like he's had a rough life.
両親を事故で亡くしちまった大変。
Despite all that, he's just about the most cheerful guy you'll ever meet. His passions are training, eating, and actually that's about it.
ちゃんと考えてるよね。
He's the second son of a merchant family. Since his brother will inherit the business, he's training to become a knight. If you ask me, it doesn't seem like he truly wants to be a knight. He's probably just doing it to please his parents. Lysithia is the daughter of Count Ordelia, and is probably the youngest student here.
最年少。
But watch out, she gets angry if you treat her like a child. As for me, I do it on purpose. You have to make your own fun in this place, you know?
なんか食えない男ですね、クイーン。腹かった。まあでもモテんだろうな、こういう人って。
Marianne is Margrave Edmund's daughter, and that's pretty much all I know about her. She doesn't interact much with other students, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of folks here have never even heard her speak.
Never even heard speak. 話したこと聞いたこともない。まあでもね、マリアンヌさん、いわゆるファイアーエンブレムヒーローズってソシャゲだとめちゃめちゃ人気です。人気投票勝ってたからね。
Hilda is the only daughter of Duke Goneril. It seems her father and brother coddle her quite a bit. If you look up lazy in the dictionary, her picture won't be there because she never got around to submitting it. Not too unusual for a noble, I guess.
すっげえ女の子って感じですよ。個人スキルおねえだよ。いやー、まあ上手。
Leonie enrolled because she wants to be a mercenary. I think she said that her father is a hunter. She's pretty blunt and as stingy as they come. A habitual saver, too. I think she's hoping to repay her village for helping to send her here.
はい。じゃあ、もう一人のデミトリ君にしゃべりましょう。ここは頑張り、ヤナハネットさんからミスティアちゃんにお菓子あげたい。それぞれの子たちが人気だ 一人を見つけた。
Right,
まあ
right.
聞いてる話しかけるか。
Please accept my apologies for the other day. You came to our aid, yet I hadn't even the courtesy to properly introduce myself. I am Dmitri Alexandra Blathid, Crown Prince of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. Of course, at the Academy, I am simply a student. And I've heard word that you are to become a professor here. Delightful news. I still have much to learn, but I'm confident I could benefit greatly from your guidance. In any case, welcome to the monastery.
モンスターに大修理。
I hear you're investigating the different houses here. Did any of the blue lions catch your attention?
これもじゃあ全員聞いてみましょう。
Me? Oh, please forgive me. It's difficult to open up on the spot, don't you think? I'm afraid my story has not been a pleasant one. I do hope that doesn't color your view of me, but I understand if that can't be helped.
すごい逃げたね。自分のことは語らない。まあいいでしょう。
Hello. Dedu was born in Dusker and has been loyally working in my service for the past 4 years. He's rather taciturn, but once you get to know him, you'll see he's a kind and good-natured young man.
無口クール系いいやつ。ドゥドゥさんです。フェリックス。
Felix is the heir to House Fraldarius. He has a bit of a sharp tongue, but don't let that fool you. Deep down, he's a good guy. He gravitates toward people who are skilled. Perhaps you would enjoy a friendly competition with him sometime.
フェリックスみたいなかっこいいよね普通に。後ろで髪の毛まとめちゃう系男子。まあ、ロン毛なんですけどね。ロン毛は分かれるかもしれない。
He's the adoptive son of Lord Lenato of Castle Gaspar, but I hear he was born a commoner. He has an extremely earnest personality, so I'm certain he will approach your lectures with great enthusiasm.
まあすっげえ真面目そうっすよね。見た目が真面目そう。ほら。
Sylvain is the heir to House Gautier. He is a capable person who highly values his friends. That said,
イケメンでも知る。
well, he's always been a bit of a skirt chaser, so to speak. Pardon my bluntness. I speak with him about it often, but it doesn't seem to help.
まあ聞いても聞かないし、そんな生まれない奥設定のスキル女好きだと。
I hear she was born to imperial nobility, but a twist of fate brought her to the kingdom. She may seem carefree on the surface, but she's actually a kind soul who pays careful attention to everyone around her.
優しそう。なんかあれだな。シスターっぽいよね。すごい。ほわーってしてる感じ。
Annette is Baron Dominic's niece. She is a talented student who scored extremely high marks at the Royal School of Sorcery.
なるほど。
She's cheerful and hardworking. Brilliant, really. Though she can be a bit oblivious at times. I hear she caused an explosion in the kitchen last night.
エクスプロージョンキッチンラストナイトだそうです。イングリッド。
Ingrid is Count Galatia's daughter. She is also a childhood friend of Felix, Sylvain, and myself. She is diligent, industrious, and principled. In truth, she is more knightly than most knights you will ever meet.
なるほど。ナイトよりかっこいい。
I appreciate your effort.
あなたに感謝します。まだ話していない生徒がいるなら各学級の部屋を訪れてみてください。はい。よし、クエストはクリアですと。で、ここで、レア先生のとこ、レアさんのとこ戻れるんですけど、ここで戻っちゃうと、確かね、もうクラス選ばなきゃいけないんですよね。 で、それちょっとまだ決まってないのと、時間もいい感じなので、今日はこの辺にして、次回、あれですね、こう各生徒と話して、英語の声の感じとか、そういうの聞きながら、実際にクラス決めれたらと思ってます。はい、じゃあ今日はここまでです。ご視聴ありがとうございました。